Hello, this is my Cento poetry. The title is called The Whispers of Earth. Sea ice forms and melts strictly in the ocean, whereas glaciers are formed on land. How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? I shall be telling this with a sigh. Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets are the largest contributors of global sea level rise. Yes, how many times can a man turn his head and pretend he just doesn't see? Polar vortex is appearing outside the Arctic more frequently than to the other. That's just as fair. The effect that previously cooled the poles, creating warmer air. Yes, and how many times must a man look up to the sky before he can see the sky? Because it was grassy and wanted to wear, causing higher rates of conflicts between peoples and bears. As oceans and air temperatures continue to rise rapidly, yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? The Greenland ice sheet is disappearing 4 times faster than in 2003, yet knowing how waste lead on to way, even if we significantly curb emissions in the coming decades. Yes, and how many years must one man have before he can hear the people cry? I took one less traveled by. Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? Glaciers are rapidly melting, carving off into the sea and retreating on land. That's all from me. Thank you.
This Cento highlights the impacts of melting glaciers and rising sea levels that are not confined to distant polar regions. They are felt globally, reaching even the tropical shores of Malaysia. As a nation with a significant coastline and a large population dependent on fishing and agriculture, Malaysia is particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change.
Rising sea levels pose a direct threat to coastal communities and infrastructure in Malaysia. Erosion is intensifying, swallowing homes, businesses, and precious agricultural land. Saltwater intrusion contaminates freshwater sources, jeopardizing drinking water supplies and harming crops. The livelihoods of fishermen are also at risk, as rising temperatures affect fish populations and disrupt traditional fishing grounds.
The agricultural sector, a cornerstone of the Malaysian economy, faces mounting challenges. Changes in rainfall patterns lead to more frequent droughts and floods, damaging crops and reducing yields. Rising temperatures create unfavorable conditions for certain crops, impacting food security and livelihoods. These interconnected impacts highlight the far-reaching consequences of climate change, even in regions seemingly far removed from melting glaciers.
The melting of glaciers and the accompanying rise in sea levels represent a global crisis demanding collective action. While the challenges may seem daunting, it is essential to remember that we are not powerless in the face of this threat. Just as the impacts of climate change are felt locally, solutions can and must originate at all levels, from global agreements to individual actions.
International cooperation is paramount in reducing greenhouse gas emissions, the primary driver of climate change. Countries must work together to transition to cleaner energy sources, promote sustainable practices, and support vulnerable nations in adapting to the inevitable changes ahead. However, the responsibility does not rest solely on governments.
Each individual has a role to play. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, from reducing our carbon footprint to supporting sustainable businesses, we can collectively contribute to a more sustainable future. Educating ourselves and future generations about the importance of environmental stewardship is crucial for fostering a sense of responsibility and empowering action. The fate of our planet lies not in the hands of a select few, but in the collective efforts of us all. That's all from me. Thank you.